Hi, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here, and we are on to my second prompt in the Seasons of the Witch journal PDF. What do you want me to call this? Do I call this like a workbook, seasonal workbook? How about that? And this is the digital journal that Amethyst Ascension very kindly created to go alongside the prompts that I had designed from last year, in fact. So we are on to the Intruder Deterrent. No, we're not. We're on to the Magpie, sorry. Which is prompt number 2 on here. And we did prompt 1, which was the front door. And for this one, I did it based on true sidereal astrology and used the new moon in Virgo spread. But for those who are in Western astrology, they used the new moon in Scorpio spread. And there's a picture of my cards and my writing. And then for prompt number 2 that came with that, part 2 of that prompt 1, there's a journal prompt on the bottom here. How can I work with this energy to my advantage and gain? So the idea is you'll take this one and you'll take it out of here for the inspiration that you get from that spread. And you should then journal here, and you can turn that into SMART targets. So you can turn it into achievable goals, something. So say you wanted £100, how are you going to get £100? Realistically, by saving. What's the end date? How many days have you got? When do you get paid? And then how can you save money to get to that £100? How can you make it a realistic target? So that is really what I've kind of envisioned that page for. But actually for me, it turned out to be a page where I've done some dark journaling. So I have journaled all over this page. You can't see it because I've muted it, so you can't see. But that's there. And I might come back and then do what I call light journaling over the top. So turn it into a kind of energy changer. So I may then come back, lay over the top of that, and then turn all the negativity that might be on my page into positivity and run it through that way. So transmuting the energy into much more light-sided, meaningful stuff. So here we go. We are at the Magpie. So Amethyst Ascension has very kindly, from her Love of Spreads Oracle deck, I call it just Love of Spreads deck, but Love of Spreads Oracle deck, she had a spread called the Depression spread, but it actually fitted really neatly into what this is. So magpies here in the UK, we have a story, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for boy, and so on and so on. And there are many iterations of that, I think, across the world, and it changes slightly. I think there's one for money spiders as well. So therefore, originally this was a 1 for sorrow magpie. What is causing me unnecessary woes? That was the original in the drawing of the PDF that comes with this, for those of you who have the PDF and not the digital download. So therefore, the prompts, so if we ignore the word depression spread, but the prompts are going with what is causing me unnecessary woes. So this time of year, we need to just figure out, what's been holding us back, what's causing us just weighing on our mind, what's taking up space in our mind that doesn't need to be there, it's taking up real estate, let's get rid of it. That was the sort of idea behind doing this prompt now, early on in the season of doing this, because you should be slowly transmuting, you'll see the theme here, transmuting things into positivities and into moving forward and becoming lighter and lessening your load on your shoulders. So for the questions we have, what is the root of my energy? How do I feel heard? How do I feel seen? How am I seeing? How can I help myself focus? And message from my higher self. So very straightforward questions. And then for part 2 of prompt 2, we have here creating a positive affirmation to disperse your worries, or create a dream catcher. So I'll talk about that once I've done the first part. We'll come to part 2. Now I have a new deck that I'm going to try out for this. So hopefully it's going to be kind. I can't remember where I got this. I found it on Etsy. I was looking for the Gothic Literature Tarot, and this one came to mind, or interview. Okay, so what is the root of my energy, from what's causing me unnecessary woes? So what is the root of this unnecessary woes energy? Okay, we've got the Queen of Cups. I think you'll see why I like this deck. So there is no set layout for this, so we're just going to go Queen of Cups. How do I feel heard currently? How do I currently feel heard around this energy? Got 2 stuck in my hand. So we have the World. Do you know, when I was shuffling this deck, this card must have come out 8 times. And we have 7 of Wands. I'm not sure which way around that's supposed to go, but we'll do them that way because the World was top card. So I'm sure, is it that way? Or do you think it's that way? I think it's that way. This is when your intuition comes into play, isn't it? How do I feel seen currently with this energy that's causing me unnecessary worries? How do I feel that I am being seen? Just wanted to jump. The Devil. Let's bring them down a bit. So you suddenly realise you're not even in shot. So we have the Devil. Okay. That's how I feel I'm being seen, but what am I seeing at this time? Oops, there it is. Okay. 5 of Swords with the Emperor. What am I seeing? How can I help myself focus? Ooh. 10 of Wands. And then a message from higher self. I think I'm going to do this in an oracle. So let's see what we get. Message from higher self. We have 2 nines. 9 of Pentacles and 9 of Swords. Interesting. Très intéressant. I have no idea if that's a real word. There we go. And I am going to, because this is now a message from higher self, so I'm going to move to the Les Vampires Oracle and see what we get to go with that. So tell me about this 9 of Pentacles and 9 of Swords. What is that supposed to be telling me? Can't do it that way. So I'm shuffle it long ways. Okay, that one. Madness, ecstatic ritual, energy release. Okay. Well, we figured we needed to release some energy, hence the reason we're doing the spread. I didn't need a card to tell me I need to release some energy. But that's obviously hinting towards a ritual of some description, so perhaps that's because I haven't done a ritual bath in quite a while, so it could be that. It could be suggesting that I, do one of my cleansing bath rituals and soak away the energy. So what have we got here? What are we thinking here? Ultimately, let's just find out what number 19 tells us. I always use the book for these, and I generally use these for myself because I found that, Lucy Cavendish does do a good one. So, the curse. It is safe for you to give way to feelings of intense bliss and happiness, even excitement, feeling deeply and allowing yourself to be swept up in the rapture of a beautiful thing for you to experience at this time. It is safe to let this happen under the current circumstances, and the curse of this card. A fear that divine madness will be permanent, that there is a short distance between the bliss of the Maenad and the insanity, keeping yourself on such a tight leash that your repressions rule you, and they're therefore expressed in unhealthy ways. So that is the point of doing this spread, isn't it? Is to make sure that things don't come out in unhealthy ways, because I hate having to backtrack on myself and eat humble pie. Not that that's a bad thing, eating humble pie, but I don't need to be exploding in places where I don't need to be eating humble pie, or places that make you look reactive and like you're a little bit of a nutter because everyone else has been looking up to you at that point, and saying how composed you are, how good you are for advice, how you're always, on the ball, spot on, like your workplace, for instance, right? We have different places in the world we go to act in different ways, don't we? If I wanted to go and scream and yell, I might go to a retreat, a camp for releasing energy. But I certainly can't do that in my workplace. I have to be professional. So working with this card, dancing, going out, indulging in ritual that gives you safe escape, a valve for your wild urges, needs to be created now. Okay, so otherwise we're going to blow. That's fine. We can take that. Now let's backtrack on these cards, shall we? So the root of my energy, Queen of Cups, that's causing me worries. That would be my job. This card comes out always around, if it's my job that's causing me issues, so this card comes out, so I know that is the people with which I work with in my job. It's probably my bosses, the Queen of Cups. So yeah, that does cause me it honestly does cause me unnecessary worries sometimes, unnecessary stress. They are the cause of it, and that is my seniors. How do I feel that I am heard in the workplace? I don't. I've come to the end of making myself heard with the world, because same crap, different day type scenario plays through my head. The what's the point is very prominent in the area with which I work at the moment, and that is quite sad to be admitting, but that is the truth. The historical behaviour seems to be winning through over changing behaviour and becoming a better place of work. It seems like they're doubling down on their historical behaviours, which I think are personally unacceptable. However, can't do a lot about it. So therefore I need to know when to pick my battles with the Seven of Wands. There are time and place is what I'm feeling here, and I completely 100% agree with this. And I find this a bit hypocritical to be saying that, because I have come from a job where I have had to signpost and empower people to have those discussions with others that are making life a little bit uncomfortable. Now, my job doesn't do that to me per se. However, the ingrained kind of behaviours, the way they speak to you, the tone, the language is not brilliant. It's not a bullying tone, but it's just not pleasant sometimes. When somebody just can't describe it actually, but yeah. So I know this is all my workplace. How do I feel seen? The devil. Yes. I feel like I am seen as the person potentially who might cause trouble and stir up trouble, because they all know who I am and what I was before I came here. And I think that they might feel that I am one of the people backing others to challenge them on their decisions, which I'm not backing. I am encouraging people to challenge behaviours and decisions along with myself. But like I say, at the same point, we all have this same old crap kind of expectation, but you have to draw a line around what's going on and put your boundaries in for moving forwards. So you do have to become a bit of the devil in that as well. You have to take control. You have to manage that for you. No one else can. I can't manage that for anyone else, and no one else can manage it for me. You will weigh up your risks and your benefits and your mental health on what you do and what you say with these cards and this situation. So the devil does come into play there, but in a very different way. Not that I feel chained and bound to somebody, but you have to become the person chaining and bounding people if you're going to put your boundaries in place to make an end to the thing that's causing you problems. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. What am I seeing? So, yeah, I probably agree with that. So I'm seeing this need for change, the need to move on, the need to alter things, but it's also a need for, like, there's this altercation. I'm seeing altercations from the bosses or towards the bosses, but they're not changing, they're sitting pretty. So I'm seeing that this is needed, but perhaps it has to go here. Perhaps I can't go through the chain of command. Maybe I have to go straight to the top. Perhaps that's the person that needs to hear that from the top down, things need to change. And we can't push it from the bottom up, because from the bottom up, has anyone tried pushing things from the bottom up? Have you ever had any change? No. So that's perhaps what I'm seeing. And how can I help myself focus through this? So we have the 10 of Wands, so offloading. I'm going to call this one today, offloading. So you do have to offload. Now, I think this can be the safe space offloading within your peers, your colleagues that understand what you're saying. So, you know, we all see them, those really naughty HR, workplace memes, jokes, in-house jokes. They cut very close to the bone. In some workplaces, they would be seen as inappropriate. You certainly wouldn't let your boss know you were sharing them. So therefore, you know they're inappropriate, but they help you alleviate. So they help you to, like, lay off, release some of your stress and issues. And they have their place, right? So there is time and place. So knowing time and place for where you can offload your stresses and worries and woes and just get it out of your system, like this release ritual over here, but to get it out of your system to, move on with the rest of your day and to stop that one from choking you. So sometimes that is necessary. And it shares the load, shares the burden, and others get to share in the fact that you're not alone and they're not alone and they're also feeling the same way. Message from my higher self, however. This one's got me a little bit stumped, I will say, with the 9 of Swords. That definitely stumped me there. So we have the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords. So a message from my higher self. 9s for me would be about moving on and completion. And we've got the 10 there. So it's a bit frustrating to move back from a 10 to a 9. But it's 2 9s. So because that's an 18. 1 plus 8 still makes 9. So I've still got a 9. I've still got a Hermit card here. I've still got the essence of a Hermit. I've still got the essence of feeling alone. I've still got the essence of sitting and pondering. So the message from my higher self is, here we have, like, she's fairly well decked out. So to me, I'm going to go with, this is when you're stressed. This one would be more your mental health, your material health, your well-being, your body. And this one would be your mind, perhaps more than this one. That's what I say, mental health. Mental health will affect your body, mind, body, spirit, soul. That, to me, it's an encompass of the whole thing. Pentacles would encompass the whole thing. And my sword, to me, this would be the communication and the mental stress of it. So the message from my higher self is perhaps that if I want to get this, I can't be doing this. I can't be living like in a nightmare situation. I have to live in so this is a transmuting of energy. So I have to live in the change up of how I see things. How do I switch things? When I talked about transmuting the energy in my second part of prompt 1, by writing down the bad stuff and then decorating it with positive stuff to turn it around. Perhaps this is what this is saying to me, actually. So perhaps it's saying, if you want to be this, you have to get rid of this. Turn to be this, not this. Turn this around. And then we have our little card at the end there telling us about ritual. So I will develop a ritual. I will maybe go and have a little dance later, and I'll probably go and create some bath salts and some oils and essence and things to help me relax, chill, soak away all my aches, pains, worries and woes, take away my negativity, flush it down the sink and send it out for recycling into the energy of the world, and let Mother Nature recycle and take it and put it back to harmony and bliss. So that's probably what I will do with those. So that's my spread. So let's just take a quick peekies at prompt number 2 and see what we get for that. So part 2 of prompt 2 is creating a positive affirmation to disperse your worries, or create a dream catcher to keep them at bay. So how do you create a positive affirmation? A couple of ways. 1, keywords from Oracle decks is a great way to do this. I think one second, there's somebody at the door. Okay, so where was I? There's a couple of ways to create affirmations that I have personally used. So one could be using a deck that has keywords on it. So this is Oracle of the Rose by Sarah DeRose on Etsy. Love this deck. I think there's been a few changes to it, so it might not be the same as this one. I think it might now even come with a guidebook. So look at these. Now I like to leave the spread down because I'm creating on top of this spread. So it's this spread that's creating the energy for what I'm doing. So what I might do is ask for 3 keywords to change this energy into positive energy in this spread. That could be one way of doing this, and see what we get. No, I don't do it this way often, I'll be very honest. Rarely, probably once a year. So the bottom card was sticking out, so I want it. And this one tells me about decisions. Oh, the choice is yours. I'm going to take the second card because it's touching my fingers. B. And bottom card again. I'm going to take the Emperor. Wow. Decisions, B and Emperor. Now it doesn't have to be in that order, so we can play around with this. And the top card here, I've got soulmates. Top card, the next bottom card was soulmates. Am I happy with 3 cards? No, I want another card. Celebration. Okay. So what can we be here? So we can take this literally, or we can take it as the animal and what it does, energy. Okay, got it. I mean literally. B. Emperor, confident. So be confident in the decisions that you make and celebrate the small wins. There we go. There's an affirmation. How about that? Oh, that's a good one. However, this is one that I do. This is usually what I do if I need an affirmation. I'm very honest. I get my so this is Earth Angels Oracle by Amanda Clark. I think it was like £15. So cheap. And it's on the back. And every card has an affirmation. So this is quite honestly what I would normally do. And this is, to me, this fits. It's got like year round in it, but it always feels more this time of year to me. I can't explain why. It just feels like it sits in autumn, winter, spring rather than summer. So let's see what Amanda Clark has to say for us. So give me an affirmation to overcome what causes me woes. One straight out. So we have friendship. What did I say about that 10 of Wands, the workplace, having camaraderie? So I don't know if you can read that. Spend time with your closest friends, share your laughter and lightness and energy, laugh at your troubles until they melt away, and you will feel light and at ease while surrounded by those who love you. With friends, you can share all that is on your mind with an assurance of kindness and love. Affirmation. I laugh away my troubles. That's a great affirmation. I love that affirmation. I think that's perfect to go on top of this. Now with this, for those of you who are crafty, creative, and want to add even more potency to dispersing your woes. So I did write down about making dream catchers, because sometimes when we're having bad days, and something's really playing on our mind, it can move into our dreams. And I have, since I was a very young girl, always had a dream catcher. nearby, either above my bed or in my workspace, or by my study area. So I've always had a dream catcher, and I have 2 in the house at the moment. I can't find the other one, she says, because I think it got put away while we were doing some decorating. But down in my tarot room, I have this one. So this one I bought, and the other one I have was gifted to me, and it came from Canada actually, and it's leather. But this one is a nice, easy one. I purchased it because I didn't have enough of the materials to make my own. However, I could easily make my own. So all you need to do, and I love the fact that it's a heart, so you could do a shape. So you bind your shape out of wire, twigs, whatever you want. And I actually quite liked the idea of finding some tree ivy and stripping the leaves off it, and then creating a wreath shape with it. And then you need to find some twine or string. So you tie on in one area, and then you'd kind of loop it around, and then you tie on here, loop it around, tie on here, loop around, tie on here, loop around, tie here, and then you go around like that until you're back to where you started. Once you're back to where you started, you pull your string into the middle of your first loop, and you would gently loop from there to this one, loop from there to this one, loop from there to this one, and you can see that as it goes around now. You can see the pattern starting, and then you'd come back around, and you just keep doing that until you get towards the middle. Not all dream catchers have to finish in the middle. Some have a hole in the middle. You could, I quite like the idea of adding crystals onto this. So I have lots of beaded crystals because of the jewellery that I make. So I could easily bead on, I have these silver beads. I could bead onto here some rose quartz for love. I could put some clear quartz on here for clear intentions, clearing the mind, clearing space, clearing negativity. I could pop tourmaline onto here for protection. Tourmaline transmutes as well, so it takes, absorbs, and then it turns it into positive and sends it out, whereas obsidian generally tends to just absorb, I think, if I'm correct, which is why tourmaline and clear quartz are 2 of the main ones that people kind of use as their main healers. Now I could also weave into this other things I want to catch. So the reason why we're doing that is, the idea behind this is it catches that negativity. And for me, the reason I'd be popping on the other things would be to absorb and turn it into. So just like with my bath ritual, where I soak away everything into my bath salts, and I ask it to drain it from my body and then take it back to the earth and recycle the energy. And I ask Mother Earth to do that. The same thing is what I'd be doing here. So I'd be putting a rose quartz on here to recycle the energy into love and put it back out. The clear quartz would be again to clear the energy, recycle the energy, and pop it back out as neutral. And with my black tourmaline, again, to take away the negative energy, turn it into a positive space and put it back out. So that's what I'd be doing with this. But I do like this one. It was only a cheap one, but I like this one. It sits down there in my space. And as I say, I can tie on to this. So I don't really change anything with this, but I can tie on to these bits. I just add on to these bits sometimes. I might just add a little string with a crystal on it or an intention. I never wanted to write on these bits, but I can, because these are actually plastic. But so I could use a pen that's wipeable, and I could just write intention, affirmation, keyword, whatever I want onto those. So I could put, love, laugh, live, or protection, health, well-being, something like that. So that's my dream catcher. But for those of you who are super crafty and amazing, I'd like to see what you make. Are you going to do this, or are you going to stitch into something? Are you going to get some cross stitch out and cross stitch your protectional energy transmutation for? Hopefully you'd share it with us. That's what I want to see. I want to see what you guys do with this. How do you make your affirmations? What decks do you use, or what decks don't you use? Do you do this through writing? Do you do it through channeling? Do you use dream catchers? Would you use a dream catcher? Would you make one? Do you use something similar or something different? I would really be interested to hear what you think about that. And colours and things. Obviously, white for me is purity, but white also symbolises a clear quartz crystal to me, and a clear quartz crystal being a master crystal that can be used for everything. In the same with candles, a white candle will do all sorts. You can use it as a program candle if you don't have the coloured candles that you need. So it's a stand-in or a standalone. So that's the reason why this one is white. As I say, my other one is leather, so it's brown. natural leathers, and that one to me is more earthy bound, whereas this one is perhaps more ethereal and definitely more girly. This is far more pretty and girly than my other one. But that's where I'm at with those. Okay. I will see you in the next one. So that is the prompt hashtag Seasons of the Witch SOTW 2024 hashtag Magpie. And we have gone through parts 1 and 2 of that prompt. Until prompt 3, I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.